The illusion of control. One of the most honest life lessons, one that most people avoid talking about, is that control is an illusion. From the time we are children, we are taught to believe that if we plan hard enough, work tirelessly, and stay disciplined, life will bend to our will. We cling to schedules, goals, and expectations, convinced that they are the keys to certainty. But sooner or later, life reminds us of a truth far greater than our plans. We are not in control. Think about it. The weather changes without asking our permission. People we love make choices we never wanted for them. Opportunities appear and disappear in ways we could never predict. Even our own bodies, the very vessels we live in, age, transform, and sometimes fail us, no matter how carefully we try to protect them. The more we attempt to grasp life with clenched fists, the more it slips like sand through our fingers. This truth can feel terrifying at first. We want security, predictability, a guarantee that life will unfold exactly as we hope. But if we look deeper, we begin to see that life's unpredictability is not a punishment. It is an invitation. It is an invitation to surrender, to release our obsession with control, and to discover a peace that can only be found in trust. There is incredible freedom in learning to flow with life rather than fight against it. When a storm comes, we cannot stop the rain, but we can choose to dance in it. When doors close, we cannot force them open, but we can trust that another path is waiting. This is not about passivity. It is about wisdom. It is about understanding that while we may not control everything that happens, we always control how we respond. And in our response lies our power. The greatest peace comes when we stop trying to script life and instead allow it to unfold. Imagine the weight lifted when you no longer carry the need to manage every outcome, every person, every detail. Imagine the calm that fills your heart when you say, "I may not know what tomorrow holds, but I trust that I will have what I need when it comes." That trust is where real strength is born. When we release control, we make space for growth, for surprises, for blessings that could never fit into our limited plans. Many of life's most beautiful moments, unexpected friendships, sudden opportunities, unforeseen healing, arrive not because we controlled them, but because we let go enough to receive them. So the honest life lesson no one talks about is this: control was never ours to hold. And maybe that's not a loss, but a gift. Because when we surrender the illusion of control, we gain something far more precious: peace, trust, and the ability to live fully in the present moment. Pain holds hidden wisdom. Pain is a word that carries weight. For many, it is something to avoid at all costs. We run from it, bury it, numb it, and pretend it doesn't exist. Society teaches us to see pain as failure, as if experiencing it means we are somehow weak, broken, or being punished. But the truth, the honest life lesson no one speaks of enough, is that pain is not punishment. Pain is a teacher, and sometimes it is the most powerful teacher we will ever have. Think about the moments that shaped you most deeply. Were they the times when everything was easy, smooth, and perfect? Or were they the moments when life felt heavy, when your heart was breaking, when you were forced to face a reality you never wanted? For most of us, it is the difficult seasons that shape our character. It is in pain that we learn patience, strength, compassion, and resilience. A broken heart teaches us the value of love. A loss shows us the preciousness of time. Betrayal sharpens our discernment and teaches us to trust more wisely. Even failure, as painful as it feels in the moment, is often the very path that leads us to a greater purpose. Without pain, we would stay shallow. With pain, we are carved into something deeper, more real, more awake. But here is the key. Pain is only a teacher when we choose to listen. Many people get stuck in pain because they resist it, deny it, or cling to it as part of their identity. Healing begins the moment we stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this here to teach me?" That shift turns suffering into wisdom. It transforms wounds into stepping stones. Consider how fire refines gold. It burns away impurities until only what is pure remains. In the same way, pain burns away illusions, false attachments, and ego-driven desires. It forces us to see life clearly, to value what truly matters, and to recognize the strength that has always been inside us. Pain also connects us to others. When you have walked through darkness, you recognize it in another person's eyes. You find empathy, compassion, and the ability to sit with someone else's struggle without judgment. This is why many of the most compassionate souls are those who have suffered the most. They know what it feels like to be broken, and they know how powerful it is to be understood. The hidden wisdom of pain is that it shapes us into more complete human beings. It doesn't come to destroy us, it comes to awaken us. And once we embrace it as a teacher, we realize something profound. We are stronger, braver, and wiser than we ever believed. So the next time life brings pain, don't run from it. Sit with it. Ask it what it wants to teach you. Let it refine you, guide you, and shape you, because within every pain lies a lesson, and within every lesson lies the seed of transformation, the masks people wear. We live in a world where appearances matter more than truth. Social media, society, and even family expectations push people to present polished versions of themselves. Smiles are worn like armor. Success is displayed like proof of worth. Strength is performed even when the heart is breaking. The honest lesson no one talks about enough is that most people are wearing masks. Masks that hide their real struggles, fears, and insecurities. Think about the times you have smiled while hurting inside. The times you said, "I'm fine," when in reality, you were drowning in silence. This is the human condition. We all wear masks, not because we want to deceive, but because we are afraid of being seen as weak, rejected, or unworthy. And if you have done this, then others have too. The person who looks confident may be carrying self-doubt. The one who seems strong may be fighting battles no one sees. The friend who appears successful may cry themselves to sleep at night. This truth is both sobering and liberating. Sobering because it reminds us not to judge anyone by what we see on the surface. Liberating because it reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. Everyone is carrying something hidden. Everyone has a story behind the mask. When we recognize this, we stop comparing our lives to the highlight reels of others. We stop envying what looks perfect, because we understand that perfection is often a performance. That flawless smile may hide loneliness. That confident voice may be trembling inside. And suddenly, compassion grows where envy once lived. The masks people wear also carry a lesson for us. Be kind, always. Because you never know what someone is carrying in the quiet places of their heart. A simple word of encouragement, a gentle smile, a moment of presence. These small acts can touch someone more deeply than we ever realize. Sometimes the least you share is the only light that person sees all day. But there is another layer to this lesson. Just as others wear masks, so do we. And one of the bravest things we can do is take off our own. To say, this is who I really am. I am not perfect. I am still healing. I am still learning. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is strength. It opens the door for authentic connections. When we dare to remove our mask, we give others permission to do the same. We create spaces where honesty can breathe and love can grow. So the hidden truth is this. Most people are fighting silent battles while wearing beautiful masks. When we see beyond the mask, we stop living in judgment and start living in compassion. When we remove our own, we stop living in fear and start living in freedom. That is where real connection begins. Time is the real currency. One of the most overlooked truths about life is this. Money, success, possessions, they can all be gained and lost. But time, once gone, never returns. Time is the real currency of life, yet it's the one we spend the most carelessly. We trade hours for things that do not matter. We waste days worrying about people who don't value us. We give away years chasing approval, status, and material gains that never truly satisfy the soul. And then, one day, we wake up and realize that time has slipped quietly through our fingers. The honest life lesson here is that the value of time surpasses every other treasure. Every second we are alive is a gift, fragile, fleeting, and irreplaceable. Yet, because it is invisible, we often treat it as if it were endless. We say, "I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start next year, I'll call them later." But tomorrow is not promised. Next year is not guaranteed. Later may never come. The most valuable word in our vocabulary should not be someday, but today. Think of the moments that truly matter. A conversation with someone you love, laughter shared around a table, the quiet peace of watching a sunrise, the courage to take a step toward your dreams. These moments are not measured in dollars, they are measured in presence. And the beauty is, you don't need wealth to experience them. You simply need to be awake enough to notice, to value, and to choose them. The tragedy is that many people realize the worth of time only when it's running out. How often do we hear someone on their deathbed speak about wishing they had earned more money? Rarely. Instead, they speak of wishing they had loved more, lived more, been more present with the people who mattered. Regret is not born from what we lacked in possessions, but from what we failed to do with our time. This truth calls us to make conscious choices. Who are you giving your time to? What are you investing your hours in? Are you using your days to create meaning, or are you spending them in distraction, resentment, or fear? Because the way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. And here's another truth. Time is the great equalizer. Whether rich or poor, powerful or ordinary, every human being is given the same 24 hours in a day. What separates one life from another is not how much time we have, but how we choose to use it. Will we waste it in endless scrolling, empty conversations, and toxic cycles? Or will we invest it in growth, love, creativity, service, and joy? The honest lesson no one talks about is this. Life is not measured by years lived, but by moments fully embraced. So treasure your time, protect it fiercely, give it to what truly matters. Because in the end, time is not just currency, it is life itself. The power of letting go. One of the hardest truths in life, and one most people struggle to accept, is that not everything and not everyone is meant to stay. We cling. We hold on to people, situations, identities, and even pain, because letting go feels like losing control, like stepping into emptiness. But here lies one of the most honest life lessons no one talks about. Growth often requires release. Letting go is not weakness. It is one of the purest forms of strength. Think of a tree in autumn. Its leaves turn golden, then fall away. The tree doesn't resist. It doesn't beg the leaves to stay. It trusts the rhythm of life, knowing that in order to bloom again in spring, it must first let go of what no longer serves it. We too are asked to trust this rhythm, to release what has run its course, what has already taught us its lesson, and what is quietly holding us back from becoming who we are meant to be. But letting go is not just about people, it's also about the stories we tell ourselves. How often do we replay old wounds, betrayals, or failures as if they define us? How often do we hold on to guilt, shame, or regret long after the moment has passed? Carrying the weight of the past into the present is like dragging chains while trying to run forward. It slows us down, exhausts us, and blinds us to the opportunities right in front of us. The courage to let go comes from trust. Trust that by releasing something, we are not losing, but creating space. Space for new friendships, new experiences, new growth, and new blessings. Sometimes we can't receive what life wants to give us, because our hands are still full of what we refuse to release. Letting go is the act of clearing space for miracles. And here's the deeper truth. Letting go doesn't always mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending something never mattered. It means honoring what it gave you. The lessons, the strength, the memories, and then choosing not to let it define or confine you any longer. It is gratitude without attachment, love without chains, wisdom without bitterness. Yes, letting go hurts, but so does holding on to what no longer fits your life. The pain of release is temporary, but the pain of clinging can last a lifetime. One keeps you trapped, the other sets you free. So the lesson here is simple, but not easy. Release with trust. Trust that life knows what it's doing. Trust that what is meant for you will stay, and what leaves was never meant to be yours forever. Trust that by letting go, you are stepping into a greater version of yourself, lighter, freer, and more open to the beauty ahead. Because in the end, life is not about holding everything close. It's about learning when to hold on and when to let go. And when you master the art of release, you discover that freedom is the most powerful gift of all, the courage to be authentic. Perhaps the most honest life lesson, and one of the hardest to practice, is that authenticity requires courage. In a world that rewards conformity, people quickly learn to shape themselves into what is acceptable, safe, or admired. We wear masks to fit in, chase roles to be approved, and silence parts of ourselves to avoid rejection. But in doing so, we slowly lose touch with the essence of who we truly are. The cost of pretending is high. Anxiety, emptiness, and the quiet ache of living someone else's life. Authenticity begins with self-awareness. It asks you to look honestly at who you are beneath the layers of conditioning. What do you truly believe? What do you truly want? What lights you up inside, regardless of whether the world claps for it? This kind of honesty is not easy because it often requires unlearning the lies we've been told. That our worth comes from achievements, that love must be earned, that fitting in is more important than standing out. Being authentic means choosing truth over approval. It means saying yes when your heart says yes, and having the strength to say no when your soul whispers no, even if others don't understand. It means walking away from relationships, jobs, and environments that demand you shrink, dim, or hide your light. And it means standing tall in your uniqueness, even when it feels uncomfortable. But here's the paradox. When you dare to be authentic, you don't push people away. You attract the right ones. The ones who love you, not for your mask, but for your true essence. The ones who resonate with your energy, not your performance. Authenticity may cost you superficial approval, but it gifts you genuine connection. And that kind of connection is priceless. Living authentically also gives you inner peace. Pretending is exhausting. Chasing external validation is draining. But when you live aligned with your truth, life flows more freely. Your choices feel lighter, your relationships feel deeper, and your path feels more purposeful. You stop living from fear and start living from love. Of course, authenticity doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean bearing every detail of your life to the world. It means being real, allowing your words, actions, and choices to align with your soul. It means no longer betraying yourself for acceptance. The courage to be authentic is not just about living fully for yourself. It is also about giving others permission to do the same. When you show up as your truest self, you inspire others to shed their masks. Your authenticity becomes a light, a silent invitation for others to step into their own truth. So the honest lesson here is this. The bravest thing you can do in this life is to be yourself. Not the version others expect, not the version fear creates, but the version your soul has always longed to express. Because when you live authentically, you are not just surviving, you are truly alive. As we come to the end of this journey, let us pause and breathe in the honesty of the lessons we've explored. These are not just ideas to think about. They are truths to live by. They are reminders that whisper in the background of our daily lives, waiting for us to finally listen. We began by seeing that control is an illusion. No matter how tightly we hold on, life has its own rhythm. The storms will come, doors will close, and plans will fall apart. But it is in surrendering, not in clinging, that we find peace. True strength is not in forcing life to obey us, but in trusting life to guide us. Then we learned that pain, as heavy as it feels, is not our enemy, but our teacher. It shapes us, refines us, and deepens our compassion. Every scar tells a story of survival, and every wound holds the seed of wisdom. When we stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can I learn?" we step into the alchemy of transformation. We also uncovered the masks people wear. Those around us may look confident, happy, or perfect, but behind the surface, everyone carries silent battles. This realization invites us to live with compassion and to remove our own masks as well. Because authenticity breeds connection, and connection is what makes life meaningful. Time, we remembered, is the real currency. Not money, not possessions, but time. The fleeting, irreplaceable treasure that slips away moment by moment. What we choose to do with it defines the story of our lives. When we give our time to love, presence, growth, and purpose, we are truly rich. We also face the truth that letting go is necessary. We cannot carry everything, nor are we meant to. People, stories, and even pain sometimes belong to a season, not a lifetime. Letting go is not losing, it is making space. It is trusting that what is meant for us will remain, and what is gone has already served its purpose. Finally, we arrived at the courage to be authentic, to strip away the layers of fear, conditioning, and expectations, and to stand boldly in our truth. Authenticity is not about perfection, it is about alignment. It is the freedom of no longer betraying yourself for approval, and the beauty of attracting those who love you for who you really are. Together, these lessons weave a single truth. Life is not about control, appearances, possessions, or fear. It is about surrender, growth, compassion, presence, release, and authenticity. When we live from this place, life transforms, not because circumstances change, but because we do. So as you step forward, carry these lessons in your heart. Choose trust over control. See pain as wisdom. Look beyond the masks. Treasure your time. Release what holds you back. And above all, have the courage to live as your truest self. Because when you do, you don't just exist, you shine.